Hello everyone, welcome to biology class. Here we are with another part of the chapter number 7, that is human body circulatory system. We'll begin with a topic that is blood groups. In the early 1900s, an Australian scientist Carl Landsteiner, he developed the system that is called as ABO system of the blood group. It was based on the absence or the presence of antigens and the antibodies in the surface of the red blood cells. So if these antigens or antibodies are present or not, based on that only classification was done of the human blood groups, and based on this only we say that the human blood group is divided into 4 groups, that is A, B, AB and O, and there are 2 antibodies A and B. These are small letters with the antigens A and B capital letters. So the 4 possible blood groups are given as follows. So if the antigen A and antibody B is present, it is blood group A, followed by the second one. If the antigen B with antibody small a is present, it is called blood group B. Next one, if both the antigens in capitals A and B are present and no antibodies are there, the blood group is called as AB, followed by if no antigens are there and both the antibodies small a and B are there, the blood group is called as O blood group. So this is, here you can see in the diagram, the antigens are present on the surface of the red blood cells. No antigens that are in the case of the blood group O. Blood group O does not have any antigens. So based on this only we have the concept of agglutination. The people can donate their blood to other people in case of any emergency requirements, in the case of an accident or anything else, any other disease. But it is to be assured that both the donor and the receiver, the person who is donating the blood and the person who is receiving the blood, should have the same blood group. In case it is not, then it leads to agglutination of the blood. What it is, we will understand now. So the blood plasma of group A contains the antibody anti-B agglutinin, and this antibody attacks the group B antigens. Anti-B agglutinins link with the group B antigens. Thus, if blood group B is injected to the person with the blood group A, red blood cells will do what? They will clump together. They will all form thick masses, and the blood will not be able to flow properly. That is called as agglutination. This is the term agglutination given there, that is the clumping of the red blood cells together. Why this clumping has happened? Because the blood group A and blood group B both are having different antigens, that is A and B, and they both will form clumps, they both will react with each other. And opposite way also, we can say the blood group B person cannot donate to A, blood group A person cannot donate to blood group B. So both have to donate to the person who is having the same blood group only. But in the case of the blood group AB, no antigens are there. In the case of blood group AB, nothing is there. You can see in the diagram that was given here, blood group AB, only A antigen and B antigen. So both the cases, both the type of antigens are there, and here in this final one, that is O blood group, no antigens are there. So here they have some special cases. What these are, we will see here in the details now. This is it. People with blood group AB can receive any blood group because of the absence of the clumping. No clumping will take place here. A and B antigen both are there, so no clumping will take place here. So that is why, because AB blood group AB person, a person with blood group AB can receive blood from anyone. That is why they are called as universal recipient. There is no need for testing for them because their blood group is AB. They are universal recipient. They can receive from anyone. But the person who is not having any antigen, that is blood group O, the person with blood group O is called a universal donor because his red blood cell do not have any antigen. That person can donate blood to everyone. Blood group O can donate to to A, to B, to AB, to anyone. But he cannot receive from everyone. He can receive from another person who is having blood group O only. So blood group O is universal donor, blood group AB is called universal recipient. So here another table is given about the blood group compatibility. Blood group A can donate to whom? A and AB. Can receive from whom? A and O. Similarly, blood group O can donate to B and AB. AB can be receiving from everyone. AB will donate to AB only. O will donate to everyone, to all the groups. So here in receiving, you can see O is present, and AB will receive from all groups. O will donate to all groups. Universal recipient and universal donor. Why is other blood groups are not considered here? Just because of agglutination. Here you can see the diagram is given for the reason for agglutination. Antigen A is present in the donor's blood cell, and antibody A is present in the patient of the, that is a blood group B. So here what is there? Antigen A is there in what? In blood group A. And on the other side what is there? On the other side, antibody A is present. So here you can see both the alphabets, you see both are same. Antigen A, antibody A, both should not mix with each other. If they mix with each other, then it will lead to clumping. You can see in the diagram here, I made pointed with the arrow here, that is clumping will take place. If both the same type of antigen and antibody are mixing with each other, then it will lead to clumping. Antigen A should not mix with antibody A. Similarly, antigen B should not mix with antibody B. It should be vice versa. A should mix with B, B should mix with A. Like that, no problem will be there. But if same antigen antibody is mixing with each other, it will lead to agglutination, and people who are the person who is receiving the blood, that person can die also. The red blood cells will burst. What these antigens and antibodies are, this definition is written here. Antigens are the proteins on the surface of the red blood cell, and antibodies are in the blood plasma. They are present in the liquid in the blood. So antigens are on the red blood cell, antibodies in the liquid, that is plasma. Both antigen and antibody, they work against each other. Antigen and antibody are working against each other. That is why what is always said, same type of antigen antibody should not mix with each other. If it is happening when similar type of are working together, then the red blood cell will clump and they will burst, and the person who is receiving the blood, he may also die. So that is all about the blood group and its compatibility. We will move to the next part, that is blood vessels. So the different blood vessels are of three types here. We'll see. So blood vessel, first of all, you see what they are. They are the transport network of the body system. So whatever blood has to flow, it will move in this transport network only. And this vessel is what? It is just a hollow tube, a tube-like structure that carries the blood all over the body, around the body. In the human body, it works as a system of channels through which the blood will flow, and there are of three types: arteries, veins, and the capillaries. We will see in details what are arteries, what are veins, and what are capillaries. So let us see this diagram here first of all, and some explanation also they have given. First is the veins. Veins will carry what? Veins will carry the blood back to the heart from the various cells of the body. Arteries are doing opposite work. They carry the blood from the heart to the body, and in between we have capillaries. Capillaries are intermediate ones. They carry the blood from one body cell to another body cell. They are not in direct contact with the heart. So here another diagram is given. In center you can see heart is there. This one you can see, this is the heart in the center. So this heart is supplying the blood in different direction. You can see they have made an arrow here. So direction is from the heart to the body cell. When it reaches the body cell, blood will reach to the body cell. You can see capillary is written there. So the arteries will take the blood from the heart to various body cells, and these arteries will divide into fine tubes. Smaller and smaller branches will appear in the arteries, and capillaries will form there. In the body cells, capillaries are there which are carrying the blood in the body cells. Then these capillaries will again join together. Again this branching will reduce. On reducing these branches, now what will form? Venules will form. Venules will convert into veins. Now you see the direction of the movement of the blood. It is pointing towards the heart. So now veins are carrying the blood back to the heart only. Arteries carry the blood away from the heart. Artery divide into arterioles. Vein divide into venules. In between we have the capillaries. So these are all three types. Let us see in details now, full details now. Arteries now. Blood from the heart is carried through the body by the complex network of the blood vessels, that is arteries. Arteries are those only. So all the arteries except the pulmonary artery, only single artery is there, pulmonary artery, that is an exception. Otherwise all the arteries will carry oxygenated blood, oxygen containing blood. When the blood is mixed with oxygen, it is called as oxygenated blood, and this oxygen rich blood is flowing in the arteries. Only one artery is there, pulmonary artery, which carries opposite one, that is deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. Why is it happening? We will see in the later part of the same chapter only. Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood, otherwise all the arteries carry what? Oxygenated blood. Next, now what these arteries are made up of? The walls of the arteries are made of three layers. They are made up of total three layers. The outermost layer is called as tunica externa. The outermost layer is tunica externa. The middle layer is called as tunica media, and the inner one is made up of epithelial tissue, that is tunica interna. Outside is of elastic tissue, middle one is of muscles, inner one is of endothelial tissue, endothelium tissue. So that names only you have to learn: tunica externa, tunica media, tunica interna. Three layers are there that are given in this diagram also, you can see here. Next one, now we will move further now. Each time the heart beats, the elastic walls of the artery expand for the blood to flow through them, then the muscular tissue slowly contract again. Outside muscles are elastic, tunica externa is elastic, inside tissue is made up of muscle, the middle one, tunica media, is made up of muscles. So when the blood pumps the heart, tunica externa will extend, it will increase the space in the blood vessel, that is artery will expand so that the blood can properly come. When the blood has moved further, when it moves forward, then the tunica media, which is made up of muscle, it will bring back the arteries to their original place. Again it will become smaller or narrower. So tunica externa expands the artery, tunica media contracted. So this squeezing of the blood is happening regularly. This squeezes the blood further along the length of the artery towards the capillaries. Arteries have a narrow lumen. Lumen means what? A hollow space to move forward, in which the blood will flow, and then the arteries diverge into the minor arteries, then small vessels called as arterioles. So finally diverge means the branches are appearing. Arteries will have a diverge, means they will have a branches, the different branches called arterioles. The arteries are deeply situated in the body. They are not on the upper part of the skin. They are deep in the skin and they do not have any wall. This point you have to remember always. Arteries do not have any wall because blood will flow only in of single direction. Blood flow in the artery is only unidirectional, always from the heart to the body parts. Blood will not flow back to the heart in the arteries. It will flow in a single direction. That is why there is no valve in the arteries. Valve will do what? Valve will prevent the backflow of the blood. It will be present in the next blood vessel, but not in the artery. It is not needed. We will move to the veins now. Veins are what? They are the blood vessels that carry deoxygenated blood, the blood which contains more carbon dioxide and less oxygen. That is, deoxygenated blood will be collected from various body parts and it will be sent to the heart again. Only one vein is there, that is called as pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood, and this is also an exception here. Like pulmonary artery was an exception, here pulmonary vein is the exception. Both are connecting the heart to the lungs. Pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary vein is the single vein which contain oxygen containing blood. Otherwise all the veins have carbon dioxide rich blood. Deoxygenated blood is there. So here we'll begin. The veins begin at the capillaries. They are very tiny, called as venules. Capillaries will convert into venules, and various venules will make veins, and finally larger and veins will form there, and they will come back to the heart. Now the wall of the vein, again like artery is made up of three layers, same way wall of the vein also have three layers, but these walls of the veins are thinner and less muscular, less elastic as compared to the walls of the arteries. Here no names need to be learned here. The lumen of the vein, the space inside the vein, is much wider than the arteries. It gives more space to the blood. Veins are giving more space to the blood. Why is it so? So that the blood can move easily through the veins. And at regular intervals, veins have pocket-shaped semilunar walls. There are no walls in the arteries, but there are semilunar walls in the veins. What is the reason for this? Semilunar walls. These are the walls that are open towards the heart to stop the blood flowing in the backward direction. It may happen that blood will start moving back into the body organs and it is not going to the heart. So to prevent that backward flow of the blood, semilunar walls are there. These walls are made up of the folds of inner walls of the veins, and the forward pressure of the blood will force the wall to open, and as a result of this the blood will flow to the heart. In case backflow of the blood is happening, blood is moving in opposite direction, then the valve will close and it will stop or it will prevent the blood to flow in a backward direction. You can see in this diagram here, this is the open valve here, and direction of the flow of the blood is given with the help of arrow. But when the blood is moving back, what will happen? You can see here the valve has closed it. So this is why the blood cannot flow back in the case of the veins. So this is because of semilunar valve only. One special point is given here about the blood pressure. In the veins, if you see the blood pressure, the blood will be flowing at a lower pressure compared to the arteries. The reason is simple, because in the arteries, blood is being pumped by the heart. Because of pumping of the blood by the heart, arteries will have more pressure of the blood as compared to the veins. So how the blood is moving in the veins? That is just by the contraction of the muscles. For example, when you are your leg muscles are squeezed, when you are walking, that time only when muscle activity is there, then veins will have the movement of the blood in them. So this is just helping to push the blood into the heart. Different kind of activities when you are doing by your day-to-day activities, muscles are becoming active and they are allowing the veins to work more efficiently. That is why when you are exercising, then more blood circulation is ensured there. So I hope it is all clear to you. So about the capillaries now. Capillaries are carrying the blood from the artery to arteriole and veins to venules. They are not connected to the heart. Capillaries are just intermediate part between the veins and the arteries. They can collect the blood from arteries to arterioles, veins to venules, or arteries to veins also. They have both type of the blood, oxygenated blood also, deoxygenated blood also is there. Arteries have only oxygenated blood, veins have only deoxygenated blood, but capillaries can have both of them. One exception that we have, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, that we have already discussed. Pulmonary artery, single artery is there which has deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein is the only single vein that has oxygenated blood. Now about the capillary, only one cell thick wall are there. There are 3 layers in artery, 3 layers in vein, but only one layer is in the capillaries. Then about the walls, no walls are there in the arteries, no walls are there in capillary also. Valves are absent in capillary. Valves are present only and only in the veins to prevent the backflow of the blood. And which valve is that? That is semilunar valve. Here it is the difference between, it is given here, all the points we have already discussed. So you can read through it, this table, and if still any doubt is coming, you can ask in the comment section. We will now move to the structure of the human heart in the upcoming video now. For now, we will take a halt. This topic will begin in the upcoming video. Thank you for now. So that is all where we end the present video.